So what we're going to be doing today is cutting your clay to run it through the slab roller. And so if you're starting with a big block of clay, the easiest way to do this, dump the whole thing out. Grab a couple of rulers. There should be one here. Set them on either side.
I'm not reaching over.
And cut it through. Don't forget to wipe off the wire. And now you've got a slab of clay. Okay? Now we're going to take this over here to the slab roller, and we're going to put it in this direction because the slab roller will only stretch one way. If I put it in this way, you're going to end up with a piece that's like 3 feet long and only this wide. You want to hand me your pattern. The other thing you want to make sure of is that it's at least as wide one direction as your pattern before you lay it down on here. So if it's not big enough, so I'm going to make this a little smaller just so I can show you. So if you've got one that's not quite long enough, what you can do is stretch it out. Do that right here. So if I'm going to come in a little closer so you can see it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to throw the clay not straight down, but at an angle to stretch it. So you just kind of flop it onto there at an angle, and then make sure you square up your edges so that the outside edge is the same thickness as the middle. Because if it's not the same thickness, when you run it through, the whole outside edge will be unusable. It's going to crack. Okay? So I'm going to stretch that a little more. Make sure that it fits. Okay, square up the edges. Okay, and back to the roll. Okay, so this thing is made up of 2 rollers, one on top, one on bottom, with a space in between. The space in between the 2 rollers is controlled by these 2 knobs. When you turn this, there is a ruler on the inside here and on the inside here, and it will point to how thick you're making it. You want to probably start at a little bit thinner than you actually think the piece of clay is. So if I look at this, it's about a ½ inch thick. I match up all the covers. I pull it up tight against the roller, and then I turn the handle on the side to flatten out the clay. Okay? I'm going to pull this through so that there's just about 3 inches left here, and then open it up, and you can see how much this piece of clay is already stretched. Now, what I want to do is I want to flip it and move it over here so that the straight edge is up against the roller again, because I only set that at ½ inch, and I need to go to 1/4 of an inch. So I move that there. Also, if it sits in the same spot, it gets the canvas really wet, and then it doesn't, it sticks. So you don't want that to happen. Close it up, make sure you line up your pieces of fabric. Set the knob to 1/4. You want to drop it in about 1/4 to 1/2 inch increments. Don't go too much more than that or it'll get caught in the roller. Or as somebody else I can see did earlier today, it oozes out and gets stuck in it. So pull it up tight. You're ready to roll again. Slide it down so there's only about 3 or 4 inches at the end, and you do that so it's ready for the next person. Then you want to prep your mat. So you grab your mat, grab a piece of newspaper. You can open it up more if you want to, but I like to keep it a little bit thicker. And the other thing you need to think about is you've just taken that clay that was all like combined, and you've just pulled it all apart by stretching it. And so the fibers of the clay need to be recompressed. So one thing I would do is to take a rib and go across this, or take your fingers and smooth it all out really good once you get back to your table. When you move this, don't try and pick it up underneath, because the clay also has a memory, and if you bend it, it's going to remember that it got turned that direction or bent that way. So try not to bend it. What I like to do is grab it on the side farthest away from me and pick it up so it's straight up and down. Move it over to the mat, start at the back side, and then lay it down nice and gentle. So then you can take this to your table and smooth it out. When you get ready to do your pattern, just like when we were doing construction paper, you want to make sure that you start like as close to an edge as you can get it, so that you can get as many of your pieces out of that piece of clay as you can. Okay? And then for your strips, you may have to take this and wedge it, stretch it, and then cut it Cut your strips out using these. Okay? So your vase will be the same width as everybody else, but it'll be different shapes. All right? So I think that's it.